Welcome to Star Citizen. So there's plenty of different types of vehicles in this game. Now our ship is the most common and probably the most used, different types of it. But there's also ground vehicles. And there's two types. There are the, wheel-tracked ground vehicles that, are ground vehicles. And then there are the hover vehicles. And here may be just some of the things that you may have or may not have known about these hovering vehicles. First of all, the hover vehicle controls are pretty similar to the ship controls. It can't really fly, but you can hover either higher or lower with the same controls as with your ship, control or space. Hover vehicles have also parts that you may lose, and they move significantly faster than your ground vehicles. There is high risk of hitting many different rocks, trees and things when going at high speeds, but you will hover over most of these little small rocks. And since we are flying a hover vehicle, every little jump can be pretty long, especially if you keep on giving yourself that little boost. Currently, the turrets of these little bunkers or stations actually will fire at hovering vehicles. One specifically good thing here is they can hover over most of these trees, just enough. But the moment I go slightly higher, the terrain goes slightly higher and I will go slightly lower because of it, I will instantly hit a tree and that can cause quite a bit of damage. These hover vehicles are quite fragile, so you might not want to go too crazy with them. I don't think it's really flushed out that well yet, so you may end up, in unpleasant scenarios where you might get a jump, you might land badly, and this little vehicle can go all up in flames. As it is a hover vehicle, it can, of course, glide to the ground, but it will still most likely hit something and cause you to die. Of course, since they are hover vehicles, you can glide on water, and since there usually isn't anything stopping you there, this is where it is actually pretty good to go full speed. On some of these terrains where there may be scrap, even here actually, as you can see, some parts of scrap are, poking out of the water, it isn't really suggested to go full speed. It goes 200 meters a second, which is really, really fast. Personally, I wouldn't go over 80 if my terrain was cluttered, but out here, just go crazy. Now the first vehicle was our little quad, hover quad. This time we have picked Nox. The Nox is somewhat better. As you can see, in space there is nothing really stopping you from hovering around, so this is actually pretty great. And the Nox actually has weapons as well. Both of them do have countermeasures. I believe the quad actually has more of them, but only Nox has the weapons to fire back. Now, I wouldn't call them any way powerful. They do regenerate quickly, but they wouldn't be that useful. Out in the open space, it's actually pretty cool to use this vehicle, but I wouldn't suggest it if you plan to take on other ships. It doesn't have a shield, it has weapons, it is a small target though, but you are also somewhat limited with your speed. It may look awfully cool, and it actually does some damage to these light fighters, but most other light fighters are still more capable than this little Nox. The hover vehicles are fun, but you gotta be careful with them, how you play them, not to destroy yourself, not to lose all your gear. But they do offer some interesting ground gameplay, which we would expect from a game like this. Now it's probably far off before we actually can give these to NPCs, but it's for us to try out and play with. Anyway, thanks for watching.